Minecraft Hardcore is the ultimate challenge. One of the most difficult things this little block game of ours has to offer. One life. One chance. Yours. Recently, I survived 200 days in Hardcore Skyblock, and it was a ton of fun, so I decided to do it in regular Hardcore. No longer would I be limited to the confines of my tiny sky island. Now I could roam freely and play the game as intended, so that is exactly what I did. Sit back and relax while I tell you the story of how I survived 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore. But of course, before we can do that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe. I could throw loads of analytics in your face about how only like 5% of you are subscribed, but I won't do that. I kinda just did, didn't I? Whatever, please subscribe! Day 1 started off quite differently than I expected it to. I expected to spawn in a forest or maybe a plains biome surrounded by animals and resources. But instead of the typical spawn, my world decided to let me know what I was in for right away by spawning me on the coast of a mountainous biome, overlooking the most beautiful coral reef I've ever seen in Minecraft. There were no trees or animals in sight besides the occasional school of fish. I began exploring inland, since exploring the ocean without food was simply a horrible idea. Before I even set my eyes on a tree, I spotted a ruined portal sticking out of the side of a hill, and I decided to head towards it, wondering what would be inside the chest. I collected my first tree along the way, and the chest gave me general starting supplies. I knew right away that this wasteland was not what I wanted to call home, so I crafted a boat and began to search the ocean. Exploring the ocean without food was simply a horrible idea. Right away, my lack of food nearly caused my death, as while I was exploring a sunken ship, I ran out of oxygen and began to drown. Once I reached the surface, half my life and half my hunger were already depleted. I decided to take this as a challenge and continued on my journey. I looted all the shipwrecks I could find until I eventually decided that it may be smart to get some food. Once I reached the shore, I used the resources the ships had given me to craft full iron armor. It was the first time I had ever crafted full iron before eating a single piece of food. It was here that I saw a beautiful little hill sticking out of the forest, and right away I knew for a fact that's where I wanted to live. But I decided to keep on exploring just in case I found a better location. Using the flint and steel I had collected, I cooked some helpless animals alive and finally healed myself. Once I had enough food, I decided to take a closer look at the hill I spotted earlier. This area looks slightly desirable. Not bad. We could live here. I think actually, yeah. I saw that island there, and I think that's where I want to live. As the night began to fall, I decided that sleeping would probably be a good idea, so I placed down my bed, but decided to sleep in the boat instead. F5. We're sleeping in the boat. They call me a true sailor. For the next few days, I began to sail the coastline again to see what I could see. Using a map I had acquired from the shipwreck, I tried a trick to discover a chest that was buried in the sand. Should be right here. This buried treasure gave me my first diamonds. Let's see what's in here. Diamonds! Let's go! Right away, I discovered a location that rivaled the forest hill. A mountain biome that contained two equally sized spikes side by side. It looked insane, but also very dangerous. So I decided against living there. Maybe in the future though. After raiding more shipwrecks and searching the ocean more, I came across 2 more diamonds, which I took as an opportunity to get an item that would be very useful in the early game. With 3 diamonds, I could craft a pickaxe, and with obsidian from ruined portals, I could use the remaining 2 diamonds to craft an enchantment table, which is precisely what I did. And we turned some of our sugarcane into paper. We already have paper, that's fine, I'm stupid. Enchanting table! There we go! We can enchant already. At some point around my journey, I was over 2,000 blocks away from spawn. I discovered many things, like 2 villages, which I would use later on, a looting 2 golden sword, which I used to collect leather, along with collecting tons of sugarcane, carrots, and potatoes. And last but not least, the discovery of an ocean monument only a few minutes away from where I wanted to live. What? What? How did you get out here? Oh! I don't know how. I don't know how. You guys probably saw this earlier and I didn't. Ocean monument? Right next to where I want to settle down? And the ruined portal. Oh my god. Using what I had gathered, I settled down at my desired location, which ended up being the original hill I had found on day 1. I collected enough leather and sugarcane on my journey to instantly create a level 30 enchanting table, which was a massive task lifted off of my shoulders. Not wasting any time, I stored some of my items in chests and decided to begin heading down towards bedrock. Right away I dug into an abandoned mine shaft, and I began to explore it very carefully. Mine shafts are insanely scary in the early game, especially in hardcore mode. Thankfully the journey was worth it, and I found 14 more diamonds, along with plenty of other useful materials. I decided that an hour in the caves was plenty of time for me, so I dug to the surface and returned safely to my brand new home. Throughout the next few days, I underwent a mission for full diamond. I wanted to become as stacked as possible early on, so I wouldn't have a stress-induced heart attack before I reached 100 days. If I have one now, it's completely fine though. Once I reached the surface again, I relished in the fact that I was alive, and using my diamonds, I crafted some brand new armor. Oh, this is gonna be great. Let's go. Yes. Woo. Well, Diamond Man, it's always nice to get this early on. I felt a lot safer and much more confident wearing some of the strongest armor in the game, so I decided to take a journey inland. In the distance, there was a mega taiga, which would be incredibly useful for me. I decided to spend the next little while chopping down a ton of trees in preparation for my first build. It's time for the first level 30 enchantment. We're gonna check everything. Please be from the following. Aww. Respiration. Aww. Prot 4. Aww. Prot 4. Bruh. Now it was time. I was tired of living under the rock. It was time to live on top of it. I began mining away the top of the hill to get it ready for my house. But as I was mining with unenchanted tools, I decided that I needed to take a quick break to get a few more levels in order to possibly speed up the process. Heading back down into the mineshaft, I hunted mobs and ores to get the remaining levels that I needed. This little adventure, however, led me to my second near-death experience. Woo! Oh! This might be it. Stay back. But thankfully, with some quick thinking, I managed to save myself. Yes! Water's OP! Once I hit level 30, it was time to hopefully enchant my pickaxe with efficiency. The hill had lots of stone on it, and it would take ages to mine it all regularly. I made it back up to the surface and tested my luck with the new enchantment table. Okay, fortune pick. Please be a god one. Yes! Oh! From that point on, it was time to build. I wanted to keep a consistent style throughout my land, and this first house would serve as a template for all my other structures, so it needed to be perfect. I find I build best when I have no actual plan or preparation involved. I build best just by going with the flow, so that's exactly what I did. Not too shabby for a starter house if I do say so myself. I decided I didn't exactly like the look of the house itself from certain angles, so I tried using some leaves to take some of the focus off of the actual house. And I'm proud to say, I think the leaves did the trick. Oh yeah, that looks much better. Just need something to break up all the birch. Now it was time to grow a pair. The Nether is always incredibly scary in the early game, but I had faith in my skills and my items to keep me alive. Below my house, I built a portal using 10 obsidian, and gathering my balls and my wits, I strode through the portal completely unaware of what I would find. I spawned on the Soul Sand Plateau, overlooking a beautiful crimson forest. Well, beautiful if you like the color red, I suppose. After raiding a precarious ruined portal, and traveling above the crimson forest, I spotted two bastions side by side. I told myself it would be foolish not to try and raid them, considering how powerful I already was with full diamond gear. I replaced my water bucket with lava to kill the brutes, and prepared myself. I raided the bastions flawlessly, even finding the secret gold blocks that were hidden in the walls.
Smile those bad bitches.
Oh.
Yeah.
In total, these two bastions gave me 40 blocks of gold, a netherite ingot which I would save for later on, and tons of other insane useful items. There's a guest in the bastion! There's a guest in here! I wasn't done yet though. I wanted to at least locate a fortress. Thankfully, the fortress I found wasn't too far away from the bastion. Fortress over there.
Oh, nice.
But of course, my inventory was full, so I decided to head home first. Before heading back into the Nether, I wanted to become more established. So I started off by building temporary animal pens and lighting up a massive cave that lingered right below them. I lured sheep and cows into the pens and began tilling some farmland in order to breed them with some wheat. Once that was done, I was ready to head back into the Nether and get blaze rods. I brought along the looting 2 gold sword that I had acquired on my initial journey, and found the blaze spawner pretty quickly, which I then used to farm a stack of blaze rods. I didn't want to waste durability on my gold sword, so I did a tactic known as sword swapping, where if you hold the looting sword as one of your arrows kills a target, the looting enchantment works while using a bow.
I just got a really epic intro idea. You know how everybody just says, in this video, I try to survive Minecraft hardcore, blah blah blah? In my next video, I'm gonna say, Minecraft on its hardest difficulty. If you die once, your whole world gets deleted. In this video, I tried to survive for 300 days.
Once I returned to the overworld, I used the levels I had gained to do a few more enchantments. Thank you. I'll take that. Yes! Treasure farm breaking 3. Let's go. I then began to build a structure that would prove itself to be very useful to me. The potion building. With this, I can now prepare for the next major goal. The next major goal was villagers. I knew right from the start that villagers would play a huge role in my world. I had 2 options to acquire my villagers. A. Cure zombie villagers, or B. Bring them back myself from other villages. Both of these were reasonable, as I had found a coastal village not too far from the massive mountain range, and near my home there was a plains biome that could potentially spawn zombie villagers. I decided to try out option A first, and I used my new potion building for the first time, creating weakness potions. An infected villager could be cured using weakness along with golden apples, which I had begun to stockpile with my gold supply. Once the potions were done, I spent the entire night looking around for a zombie villager in the plains biome. Unfortunately, there wasn't a single spawn. Since waiting until the next night would be a waste of time, I chose to attempt option B, and headed out to the village with a boat and captured... borrowed a villager. Yeah. On my way back with the first mandatory volunteer, I sailed around until nighttime and brought the villager close to a zombie and left the 2 of them alone to become acquainted. After the villager was infected, I killed its infector and began to bring the villager back to life. It's time for you to be equalized. I love that line. Oh god, I found a hole. He transformed back into a villager a few minutes later, and I directed him under my house to a temporary workstation. I promise you guys, I actually wanted to build the villagers something nice, but I need to get the second one first. So during the next day, I did just that, repeating my previous tactic of capturing a villager in a boat, bringing him home, allowing him to become infected, and then curing him. If you guys didn't know, cured villagers give the player who cured them much better deals. So that is why I initially let them die. But now, it was time to abuse these deals. I had 2 things I wanted to get from these men. Either feather falling or mending. Preferably feather falling. I knew that if I didn't have feather falling before I went to fight a dragon, it could mean the difference between life and death. So I spent an entire day trying to get the trade I wanted. Passing looting 3 about 4 times along the way and mending twice. This guy was as stubborn as I am when trying to edit videos. Finally, he gave me what I wanted. Little jerk. Because I'm actually interested in that. I might do that in this. Feather Falling 3! Oh!
Yes!
Now, I wanted to try out something different. A diamond strategy. My friend Jahid was screen sharing for me while I was trying to get the Feather Falling enchantment. And he showed me something interesting. I'm going to show you his little clip here. And I think you guys understand what's about to happen.
How to find diamonds in Minecraft? Using math. Now go to a swamp and open up your chunk borders by pressing F3G. Find a clay patch that look like this and place a block in the center of it. Now you need to build out 6 or 8 blocks in the positive set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And right down here there's gonna be diamonds. There we go. It also works in rivers like these. So just find a clay patch and go 2 forward on the set. There we go.
I spent the next 2 days trying this tactic out, and it worked. It worked incredibly well. With Jahita's help, it worked on my first attempt. 9, 8,
Oh, that's so much
7,
well.
6. Oh, it worked! Oh my god! What? What?
What? Let's go!
Oh my god. Also, this happened.
It is OP, bro.
Oh, one of the cave. Oh my god, sorry viewers. I apologize for him. He's a bit of a strange man sometimes. He's a bit weird in the brain, but only in the brain, a little bit guys. Once I got pretty much every clay patch in my lake, I decided to stop. I didn't want to abuse the strategy too much just yet. For the next 2 days, I returned to the Nether once again. My second villager had actually given me the insane deal of 1 emerald for Unbreaking 3, so I applied it to some diamond pickaxes. And using the diamonds I had collected using the clay strat, I made a whole bunch of diamond pickaxes. Why, you may ask? Well, because I was going mining for netherite. I wanted to get full netherite before beating the game to minimize my chances of death. I didn't have TNT or enough beds, so I would be using my pickaxe, and since it didn't have mending, I brought extra pickaxes along to repair it whenever it would get low. Over the course of 2 Minecraft days, I found 12 debris. You need 16 for full netherite, but then I remembered that I had actually acquired a netherite from a bastion earlier on, so I packed up my supplies and went back to the surface. I spent some extra time mining quartz for levels, and when I reached level 30, I returned home. I shoved the ancient debris into some furnaces. Boom! When that's done, we'll be able to make ourselves some full netherite. So, on the helmet, fire protection 4. Protection 4. Boom! I decided I wanted to enchant my helmet as well to become fully enchanted, so I returned to the Nether to get level 30 once again. When I returned home, my helmet enchant disappointed me slightly, but it wasn't the end of the world. Please not just Unbreaking. I combined my Aqua Affinity helmet with the Unbreaking 3 to create a slightly better helmet, and then I remembered that I had ancient debris sitting in the furnace. Let's do it. Woo! It's time for the netherite. Let's do it. Bam, bam, boom. Woo! Lovely. I also wanted to get slow falling potions before I went to kill the dragon, just in case. But the issue was that slow falling potions required phantom membranes, and I had slept in this world so often I hadn't even seen one yet. I knew I hadn't slept for a few days because of the netherite mining, but I would need at least 1 more night without sleep until a phantom could spawn. So what could I do to pass the time? Well, give the villagers better quality of living, of course. While I was building the house, phantoms spawned and I killed them. I acquired the phantom membrane required for potions, and at this point I had everything I needed to actually kill the dragon. But what about the thing that came after? The Elytra? Well, I had a plan for that as well. A plan that would take up a huge fraction of the first 100 days here. This task would take over 3 Minecraft weeks to complete from start to finish. The Creeper Farm. I didn't just want some ugly farm poking out of the side of a mountain or sitting in the ocean. I wanted to make this thing look good. So over the course of 11 days, I began building the infamous shulkercraft design with a twist. this thing took so long to build. And I wasn't even done with the actual farm itself. I wanted to make sure that I would have a steady supply of firework rockets for whenever I got my elytra. So I needed to make sure that these things would provide the items I needed, which was gunpowder and paper. I finished off the foundation of the building, which honestly looked rather bland. I promised myself that if I survived the trials that the end would bring, I would make this monstrosity of a foundation look much better. But now it was time to actually finish the farm. I made sure that when I built this farm, all light levels on the spawning platforms were 7 or below so that mobs could spawn. I wanted to be able to look into the farm through the windows without it affecting spawn rates. After setting up the water, the killing chamber, and the dispensers, it was time to test this. In order for this farm to work best, I would need an AFK spot at least 123 blocks above the lowest layer of the farm. But I didn't want to just build a simple platform that was AFK on. After a little bit of precarious work in the air, I constructed a nice AFK spot. In my opinion, this is much better than a glass box. I decided to AFK for a few minutes. Step 1 was complete. It took 24 days to do it, but now I needed to do step 2, which was the paper. I figured this would go by much quicker than the creeper farm, and it did. I simply built sort of a shed next to the creeper farm, which held a very small but manageable automatic sugarcane farm. I wanted the two buildings to be connected to give the illusion of some sort of firework factory, and although my resources were still limited, I think it looks pretty good. Once I was done with the paper mill, I tried to help out this behemoth of a structure by using leaves once again. It wasn't perfect, but it was most certainly better than before. From day 83 to 87, I prepared for the dragon fight. I started off by brewing 6 potions of slow falling just for safety, and then, realizing that I had no pearls, I took a long vacation into the Nether with all my gold and began trading with a bunch of piglets that I trapped. Kind of crazy that out of all the gold I used, I only got over a stack of pearls. I'm gonna take all this stuff, I'm gonna kill him, I think. I'm sorry, man. You did give me pearls though, so I respect you, but not enough to keep you alive. Pretty sure they're about to be out of... Yeah, there they go. I then proceeded to create a bunch of orphans by breeding my animals and sending their parents to a better place. Man, I'm a terrible scriptwriter. The last thing I wanted to do is gather a lot of obsidian just in case I wanted to create an ender chest. While mining the obsidian, I located a slime stuck in some cobwebs. I made a mental note to keep this ravine in mind, to maybe find a slime chunk eventually. I also found some diamonds, which was pretty pogchamp. I think at this point I had prepared enough. I felt comfort and was at ease, knowing just how prepared I actually was. I was kind of over-prepared, to be honest. So, I finally began my hunt for the Stronghold. Probably that direction, but let's just check it out. It's looking. Oh my gosh. It's straight this way. Alright. After a long journey out into the thousands, I triangulated the Stronghold and found it by going down a cave. Let's go down. I'm gonna guess it's right down here. Right, hello there! I was right! I wanted books for future trades and enchantments, so I collected every bookshelf that I could carry. As I was exploring, I noticed some blocks that weren't typically found in strongholds. Mossy cobblestone. When I checked it out, it turned out to be a spider spawner. The loot from it was subpar, but it was interesting to find one of these touching a stronghold. After a short jog through the hallways, I stumbled across the portal room and made quick work with the spawner. I psyched myself up, gathering all my energy and brain power. I filled in the portal and jumped through. Where are we? Pearl, immediately. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. The fight has begun. Take out these crystals ASAP. Oh, this dragon's aggro. Bam! Nope. Bam! Yes! Boom! Bam! Come on, how do I hit that one? I got it! Okay. And take that one out. Okay, let's get water on our bar. Are there any more? I think there are. Yeah, there's one up there. Yes! What a shot! Okay. Nice! Okay. I think that's all of them. Now we can start attacking this dragon. Alright. Woo! It's been a while since I've done this. How is this dragon not perched yet? God, I hate when it flies like this. It's a very unpredictable flight pattern around these pillars. Okay. Is it perching? Okay. I'm missing every shot. Alright, here we go. Okay. Woo! Perching again? We win! Woohoo! Oh, it's so loud! Oh my god, that's so loud. Levels! The dragon was dead. My most worthy foe yet, brought down like an insect. I took a deep breath and collected all the XP, along with the dragon egg, which I would use to flex on everyone when I returned home. My adrenaline hadn't completely diminished though, and so I found myself immediately running for the gateway portal without taking any breaks. It was over the void, so I consumed another slow falling potion and bridged up to it. Throwing my pearl through the portal, I materialized in a strange place. Woo! Nice! Where are we? Coordinates taken! I instantly began hunting for end cities by maxing up my render distance and waiting. Unlike servers, my single player world will be forced to generate land 48 chunks away from me in all directions. And using this strategy, I found the city almost immediately. So at first glance, it looks like we are not going to be as lucky as we were in Skyblock. We found an Elytra ship immediately. Does it have a boat? Oh, it's so far. It has a ship, guys! What? I'm sorry, Fubs. I am sorry, Fubs. I made my way over there slowly, not wanting to die to the void, and attempted to secure my prize. Unfortunately, my first attempt went a little something like this. We don't have a pearl, but we do have slow falling. Woo! Oh, we are not gonna make that. We're not gonna make it. No! Snipe! Aw. My second attempt worked though, and the first thing I got was the dragon head. The reason I went for the skull first was because in my Skyblock series, I actually completely forgot to grab a skull, and I finished off the series without ever getting one, and I wasn't about to make that same mistake twice. Next up was the grand prize, the Elytra. I quickly cleared the room of the Guardian Shulker, and after checking the chests, I grabbed the wings with great happiness. Bending. But that don't matter. This does! Let's go! I immediately put them on and began flying around, which is actually how I learned of a new game mechanic that I hadn't learned yet, after using Elytras for so long. Elytra flight mixed with slow falling potions allow you to hover in place. This is weird. Is my Elytra broken? Oh, it's the slow falling! I can hover in place with an Elytra with slow fall? I didn't know that. I'm glad I do. I flew back to my entrance portal and crawled my way through, leaving the end islands behind, for now. Finally, my adrenaline rush was gone. I sat by the portal, and once again, I let all my stress and anxiety leave me with a single sayonara. Sayonara. Once I returned home, I relished in the fact that I was alive, and this time, I knew exactly what to do with the dragon egg. You guys know what's coming. I need a place to place it. Where would be a good place? How about right there? You know what they say. Every good house needs a lantern. The ultimate flex is back! Oh, baby! For the rest of my time here, I knew I had to dedicate it to making things around my home look nicer. The biggest eyesores for me were the foundation of the creeper farm and the animal pens. I started off by using cobblestone stairs to add cracks to the foundation, which would add a bit of detail. These cracks helped to break up the boring wall of cobble just a little bit, enough for me to be satisfied. Next up was the last major build of the session, the barn. I knew I needed a new location for my animals since they were actually in the way of a road I wanted to build. So instead of relocating the pens, I decided, well, I have time. Might as well do this now. And with that, the construction of the barn took place. While constructing the barn, I secured and cured another zombie villager. I began to work with his trades to attempt to get a mending book. And let's just say, this was thousands of times easier than getting the feather falling trade. He's just rolling around in the water right now. I put him in a boat. Will he still accept jobs in a boat? He will! Mending! Oh my god, that was quick! Okay, okay. We gotta get there, we gotta get there, we gotta get there, we gotta get there. With this trade, along with the Unbreaking 3 one, my Elytra was fully realized. Oh, yes, and it was the last thing we used on our anvil. Oh, oh, that was beautiful. How poetic. Also, apparently my villagers had gotten busy since the last time I checked. The final stretch, guys. It's almost over. I started off by extending my road now that the animals were moved, and I created a boardwalk around the bottom of the creeper farm, which would lead to the new barn. I decided that this road design would be used all throughout my town once it got more established, since it could be used as a bridge and a walkway. I also attempted to make the creeper killing location nicer, but while doing this I had the largest jump scare of my entire session.
What the fuck am I? I took 2.
Can you?
Oh! Oh my god!
What?
I just
Are
got
you okay?
I went into my creeper farm for 1 second and there was a creeper in it.
Oh lol.
Oh,
Well,
damn.
it's a creeper farm, Maggie.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know why it was only coming from one ear there. I really don't. After I repaired the damage, I began to expand my farmland over the location of where the animals used to be, which would give me a ton of new crops. I decorated the boardwalk by adding leaves and bushes underneath of it, which I thought looked incredible. The next task was to make the area around the potion house a little bit safer, so I constructed a rundown cobblestone wall that would represent an old property line. After I was done this, I realized with a chill that I was done everything I wanted to accomplish. I had 2 days left though, so rather than start something new and not being able to finish it, I decided to finish off the floating AFK ship by adding a few sails. And with that, I spent the rest of my time AFKing the creeper farm. On the eve of day 100, I flew around my world admiring what I had created. I felt proud. And so, as the moon rose higher into the sky, I settled down in my house, jumped into my bed, and settled down in the mattress for the last time in this 100 days. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Hardcore is actually pretty chill if you know what you're doing. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't seen my other hardcore content or are new to the channel, be sure to check out my other content. I've made a 200 day series on Skyblock, and I'm currently working on a hardcore playthrough. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, then you'll enjoy those videos too. Also, if you aren't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll smell you all next time. Yeah.